I'm glad you're here.
How did you get here? Do you know where this is? I could have sworn I was just in bed. You know what? I'm probably dreaming. I'm probably just dreaming, right? Definitely dreaming, right? Where am I?
Let's just say this is a place where you can be honest, where nothing is judged and all things are, well,
Right.
good. You do know this is just a white room. How exactly does all of that work here?
Is that all you see? A white room? What, is this supposed to be a white void that you should actually see with your eyes? I'm not blind, you know. Maybe you are. I don't mean just seeing with your eyes. I mean actually seeing the world around you. The mountains, the rivers, the flowers. God's creation, something beautiful, something to be grateful for. How can you not see that? What are you talking about? There's nothing but white as far as the eye can see. And I am grateful, by the way, but should that gratitude really go towards a God? Who else to go towards but God? How can you believe that God actually exists? I thought the Old Testament was just stories. When the creation of the stars and the universe can be explained through science, what use does God play in it? Do you question your faith? I didn't always. It hasn't been the easiest few years. And partly of that is because I blame God. Have you never questioned yours? It's not bad to ask questions, especially when you're trying to find out who you are. But let me ask, why do you think people believe in God? I don't know, I guess for hope. Hope, yes, but also love, forgiveness, guidance, security, comfort. These are all things that God can provide and things that people seek in, things that people want to share in. When you feel lost, you turn to God. With God, anything is possible. Yeah, I've heard that spiel before. But let me ask you this. How much of that is true? Why does God allow suffering then? God doesn't cause suffering. He simply permits it to happen. And yes, I know it's not fair. But through this process, we look inwards at ourselves. We view parts of ourselves that we don't normally look at. And in doing so, we become better people. But never forget, you are never alone in your suffering. God is always present, never leaving, always by your side. Oh, really? Always by my side when I'm suffering? Give me a break. My mom used to love roses. Her favorite flower. I used to pick them up for her every single day since I was little. But then she passed away about a year ago, and I didn't even get to say goodbye. So why does God take people away from us so suddenly? You know, my mother was a religious woman. She went to church every Sunday. She volunteered her time. She was a stand-up Catholic. So why? Why was she diagnosed with cancer? Why did she have to fight so hard just to die? She didn't deserve that. I thought God was supposed to be righteous and loving. So why? No, what? What good does letting his people suffer really do?
God tests your faith. And I know that it may feel hard.
But God does what's best for his people. In life, we live by his rules that he's put so forth upon us. Rules like the 10 Commandments. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, and so forth. We follow these rules in our daily lives. In doing so, we find salvation and enter into heaven. Your mother, a stand-up Catholic, most definitely so for all her life, she followed God's guidance and knowing it was his plan, even through the most difficult of times. So because she was a practicing Catholic, she goes into heaven? Will I not then? If you live your life knowing what's right and wrong, God will welcome you regardless. You asked me if I've ever questioned my faith before. And yes, I have. I lost someone close to me years ago. My own mother. At that time, like you, I questioned God's plan and why we had to suffer. It was hard, and I resented God, and I still miss her to this very day. And I know that suffering sucks. But despite all that, I could still depend on God, eventually. I believe that at some point, everyone has to question the reasonings of God. Questions like, why does God test me so? How could I believe when I feel so alone? How could God allow such evil and pain into the world when he's supposed to be good and righteous? I believe questions like these are good. They solidify our faith to him. And you will find the answers to these questions in your own time. I feel like that's easier said than done. You could start by speaking out loud to him. Speak to him? Yes. Speaking to him out loud can sometimes help. Talking about your day, your situation, voicing your opinions to him. God works in mysterious ways, you know. Speaking to God is our connection with him. When we ask God for strength, he gives us trials to overcome. When we ask God for love, he gives us people who are troubled. He hears us and he listens to us and helps us. Will it really work? It's a start. I suppose it's worth a try.